These video games.
Video games, maybe it's good for kids. We don't know of these video games.
Welcome to the Snooty Ghost podcast.
This is where we begin our haunting.
Snooty, Snooties.
You know what's liable to happen if we see a ghost tonight?
Mushrooms, banana peels, turtle shells.
Same great games.
Two-player fun on the split screen.
Never in the history of video games.
Yo!
There it is!
Welcome to the Snooty Ghost podcast.
Episode 1!
1, the very first one. I wanted to say inaugural, but I think that's like every year. No, I don't know. Welcome to the Snooty Ghost podcast, everybody. I am Binary Ghost, and you might remember my co-host from IGU podcast,
Snooty Skaboovie.
And hence the name, the Snooty Ghost podcast. I think we told you a little about this on the IGU episode here.
It's been a long time coming.
It's been a long time coming. Yeah, we've put a lot of effort into trying to get this right and trying to do it in a way that's I don't know, I guess fits our personalities a little more. Like I said, we want IGU to be a little bit more of a news aggregate, right? So like things that are happening, right? It's a little bit different from the vibe.
This way we can just be ourselves and just shoot the shit.
Not that we weren't ourselves before for the first 8 episodes.
Yeah,
we were like getting drunk and shit. And like, I look back, man. I'm like, man, you know, maybe we were just doing the podcast early on as an excuse to get hammered. I don't know.
It turned out okay.
It did. Well, yeah, it turned out okay. It was fun to do, I guess, but I don't have my sunglasses on. We were gonna put our sunglasses on for this episode.
I committed because you were talking.
Yeah,
about
well,
it.
I had actually. It was a little dark in here, and I had to actually do something, and I couldn't see. So I don't know. So yeah, here we go. What do we got? What are we starting off here with today?
I guess I'll start. I had this little story.
It's a little story.
Something that happened the other day, and I thought it was interesting.
Happened the other day.
So recently, I was watching you getting into Killer Instinct recently with your buddy online.
Kamikaze, what's up? Shout out to Kamikaze out there doing his thing there. Just had a baby, and congratulations to him and his family.
And I was trying to play, and I was not doing too well.
Too well. I wasn't doing too good.
It wasn't.
No, eh?
So I went to download the game. The game's 50 gigs.
It's like 47.1.
Blew my mind.
A very big game considering, like, Battlefield 4 is 60 gigs. And that's, I understand. There's like 20 maps. It's huge. There's a lot of moving parts. There's, you know. But this game, it's 50 gigs.
And it's not like you're running around a huge map. Like, it's literally almost like a 2D.
It's a side-scrolling thing, man. There's no, like, where's all those gigabytes going?
I don't know. I think it might be because all the DLC, you're downloading it, but you don't unlock it till you pay for it.
But what's the DLC? More
like
2D
all the
maps?
Oh, and all the extra characters. I don't know how many character packs they have now.
Yeah, but they're not even that. I don't know. Maybe with all their different... Because when you choose a guy in Killer Instinct, he has 3 different, like...
color schemes or something?
He has 3 different, like, outfits and each one has a different color scheme, I think, man. So I guess it's probably... I don't know.
But anyway, so it's... Basically, it's a big download, and I didn't have enough room on my hard drive, so I went in to delete a bunch of games, right? Just ones I wasn't playing, because like they show up and like ready to play. If I ever want to play it, I'll just re-download it, right? So among those games I deleted, I have Borderlands 2 and Borderlands 2 the pre-sequel that I downloaded literally 2 years or a year ago. It was free. 2K, the developers, they like put it for free for like 1 weekend to download or whatever.
Okay.
So I downloaded them. And then when I was deleting all these games to free up space for Killer Instinct, I noticed that they didn't show up in my ready to play section. I went on my Xbox Live, and I wanted to like talk to a guy, and I was like, yo, what the hell? Where'd my games go, basically, right? So he goes through like the whole thing where he's like asking me like all like the things like, are you sure you're connected to the internet and all like the stupid stuff. I'm like, yeah, of course I am.
Yep.
And then he looks on his end, and he's like, that's so weird. I can see that you have, like, the key or whatever showing that I had the games, but it doesn't show that I'm able to, like, re-download it. And he's, like, sitting there saying he's never seen that before, and it makes no sense. Because the Borderlands 2 and Borderlands 2 pre-sequel aren't available to download on Xbox Live individually. You have to download them as part of the Handsome Collection. So he saw that I had the games, but I didn't have access to the Handsome Collection. Eventually it gets to the point where he figures out that the reason I have it is because it was during like a special promotional event that 2K released it for free or whatever. But I guess that it was only a limited time that you could download it. So once I deleted it, I no longer have like rights to the game anymore.
Oh, true.
So by deleting them, I kind of like lost them forever, which really annoyed me because the guy's like, "Oh, you could contact 2K." I'm like, "Well, I guess."
Yeah, they're real responsible.
The weird thing is, so this guy, I don't know, he's in California or something, like working for Xbox. He's like in my game library and stuff. Basically, he told me like there's nothing to do, and I was like, okay, fine, about to log off, and then he starts like chatting me up, being like, "Oh, so I see you have like all these different games and stuff," and I'm like, "Yeah," and he's like, "Oh, I see you play PUBG." And he's like, "How are the chicken dinners tonight?" I'm just like, "Yeah, it's all right." Like me and my buddy were just playing earlier or whatever, and he was like, "Oh man, I wish I could be part of that squad."
Oh, wow.
And I was like, "Well, add me up, man." He's like, "Oh, I will."
Did he add you up?
I haven't seen him. I haven't checked, but he said he was gonna add me up. But I think there's a big time difference because he's like, when I'm getting off, he's like, "I'm just gonna go my lunch break or something, then I might later." But it was like 2 a.m. here.
Man, I remember back, that reminds me of back in 2002, 2003, like the very first days of Xbox. Even going up to like 2006, 2007, I felt this way. When I came across another gamer who game online, I felt like it was almost a rarity, right? Like, oh, you're on Xbox Live? Like, I wanted to exchange information with them, like, even when it was like a bond. Now it's like, oh, I assume people are either on PlayStation or Xbox Live, and it's not like, now it feels a little bit, I wonder if it was like that when people first had phones. Like, it's like, "Oh, you got a phone too? Oh, what's your number? I'll call you." I don't even know. I'm like, hey. Because nobody else you know. It's like, what are the odds somebody else you necessarily know has a phone when their first phones came out, right? You probably just, like other rich people had them. You probably just had to call your asshole neighbor across the street you didn't even like. You just talked to him anyways because you want to use your phone.
I don't remember if when, like, I was, like, just going to high school and, like, kids got their first phones, like, you know what I mean? So, like, say, like, 2 kids in class, like, had rich parents.
I meant like the original phones, man. Like back, like when the phone, not like cell phones, man.
Well, I can more relate to the cell phones.
Well, yeah, me too, man. I'm not that old. I know I'm older than you, but I'm not, I don't remember the invention of the telephone. But I just adjusted my glasses as I said that, and I felt cooler doing that. I felt more confident.
The telephone.
Just a little small note for you there. But yeah, the very first phones, I'm saying, when like everybody had telegrams and was using letters, the very first telephones, like let's say you could buy, when telephones came on the market, whatever year it was, let's say it was 1905, it doesn't matter. But what would the inclination be? It might be the same, right? Like it might be like, "Oh, you got a phone too? Like, I'll call you." Like, I bet you relationships were sort of built on the novelty of both having this technology, right? It might have been the same with computers, right? And it probably was, like when people were just chatting in internet, and back in MSN or whatever the heck was back in the day. Maybe there's that inkling if you met someone in real life to want to exchange that information because it's like a rarity. That you actually, The
thing with this guy though is, it's his job like answering things at Xbox. I think he's like with everyone like, "Oh yeah, add me up," or
no. I was just thinking because it reminded me of when I used to do that with other people. I remember like the guy who installed my cable. He's like chatting me up. He's like, "Yeah," he's like my age, and he's telling me that he was on Xbox Live, and I was like, "Oh, give me your gamer tag. I'll add you up." And then he's like, Big C. And I was like, oh man, I'm thinking to myself, how do you get that gamer tag? Because that one probably would have been gone a long time ago. Or like, I'm trying to think like, is that even enough characters for a game? But I was just like, okay. And then I put it in and obviously it was a fake gamer tag. And I'm like, why'd that guy, And then I was thinking maybe I was weird for doing that, man. Like being like, oh, you're on Xbox Live too? Maybe you didn't want to like be friends with me.
Yeah, nowadays if you actually saw one like Big C, be like, oh, that guy must be like, must work for Xbox. His gamer tag's so short.
Yeah, I see some of those gamer tags on there, and a couple of the ones that are like high up there. One's like Katie. Another, it's like they just have these like first pick of their gamer tags. I think that's super interesting. I like my gamer tag, so I wouldn't change it either way. It's not like I would change mine to my name if I could.
Yeah, exactly. It's like when I got my first Gmail account. My Gmail account. Oh, I shouldn't say it though. I'll get a million messages from all.
Oh man.
But basically, it's just a word then a
it's
one.
It's like Chewy71 or something at Gmail, so I think that's it.
It's not it.
It's close, so try it out. Try a bunch of them Chewy with numbers.
Yeah, all of them.
Like, I don't know. It's like, yeah.
But anyway, I don't know where I was going with that.
Sorry, yeah, I wrecked it.
It's okay. Now I can't remember what I was going to say before.
Oh my god, man. You don't even smoke weed.
Whoa. How do you know?
Oh wait, you do smoke weed?
Yeah, I do.
But like, I mean, I smoked like not too long ago, and I was worried that I would have like the case of the forgetties. Maybe you're getting a contact high. The forgetties? What am I saying?
Forgetties. It kind of reminds me of like I don't know, I was saying SpaghettiOs or something.
You got the forgettios. That's legit. You got the forgettios. Oh man, I don't know what's going on. That's funny.
So in PUBG news, we just read this.
Oh yeah, this is super interesting, man. Go ahead, take the Leo.
So Bluehole, I should say, the developers of PUBG, they've been amping up their anti-cheating efforts, and I guess that includes going after these hackers in China that were making malware or software that could hack your game while you're in PUBG and like steal your information or.
Yeah. So the interesting details, because the headline gives you a different impression, like they were selling, aimbots or something for PUBG, but what it says here is that this software, this malware, was actually taking control of your PC and stealing all your data. It wasn't like helping you play the game any better, and this is the software that was, because I was wondering when I read the headline, like, why did they go after these guys just for cheating in games so hard? Like, is there really like a police task force dedicated to like video games or something? And no, it's much more nefarious than that, unfortunately. And these guys were trying to take advantage of, people. So trying to steal probably their bank information or something. So that's not cool.
It said it was 15 people were arrested and combined total of 5.1 million American in charges.
Yeah,
which
is
US
dollars. Yeah, in fines. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I would think that it makes me think when I hear it's that much and we hear about this, that these people are like repeat offenders or something, right? Like a lot of times when people, like they must be doing this on a high level.
China though, and they feel like they're super like crazy.
It's true. Like it's in a way when I thought about that, that's just the translation. It's not like they're like getting sued by an American. Yeah. It's like just the equivalent of US dollars. So
yeah.
But I would think that they're probably, I don't know, China can be, I don't want to blanket state, but from what I understand in China, they're pretty, they don't really mess around with crime too
they're pretty
much.
harsh, I would think, yeah.
Well, I don't want to say they're harsh because, like, that's their culture in reference to maybe us, but, like, who's to say, right? But
yeah.
It does seem...
But, like, our government is pretty lenient when you think about it, like...
Well, on white people, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Like, it depends. I know depends on where you are, for sure, man. But that's not to go down that road with the politics or whatever. Yeah. But just generally speaking, I think China does have a little bit sort of a more black and white issue to crime. It does appear that way from the outside looking in, but maybe it seems totally relative to them. But I would think that these guys were repeat offenders to get that much of a, because that's a lot of money, man. Like you know what I mean? Like I feel like the first time they would have put him in jail, but why would you find someone who is poor doing that in a way? Because like you'll never get that money from them. I feel like
also it doesn't necessarily say like maybe they caught them doing this, but like looked back into their history and saw they were doing a bunch of other stuff too, and that's why it's like.
Either way, screw those guys, and I'm glad they got arrested, and I'm glad that there's somebody out there taking care of that.
Yeah.
But that does the first headline did make me think about. Would they go after people that were just like if it didn't steal your information and just made you better at the game per se or gave you some unfair advantage? It says in the Steam posts that they released that it's illegal to sell, to use, to whatever software that helps you hack the game in any way.
And sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying though. So that I guess that includes if you have some sort of aimbot system, or I don't know what people use on PUBG, but. If you have that's illegal in some countries. Like, would that be illegal to use that? And then if so, has anyone ever been charged with that? Like, this is interesting to me to think about somebody being charged for cheating on a game, essentially. And I feel like if it did happen, it would have been a big headline.
Yeah.
What an opportunity. Right?
Obviously, we both agree that cheating on video games is...
It's unethical, man, but I don't think anybody should ever be arrested for it.
Exactly.
Like,
so what do you think there should be the punishment? Just like ban you from the game.
Yeah, of course. Well,
Yeah.
ban you from playing with everybody. Just
Yeah.
like if you were playing a game of basketball and somebody was cheating and being a dink, you would just you can't play with us. You could find other people. We're not saying you can never play basketball. I'm not gonna like try to monitor that, but
Yeah.
you're not gonna play on this court with us anymore
Yeah.
because you've had your opportunity and it's just et cetera, et cetera. So. I think that should be the same sort of thing, man. Like you can't be on the ranked servers then if you're cheating, and you can. I don't know. I mean, if you get booted out, you can be banned. Like I just don't see anything. I don't know. I couldn't imagine. Like who would arrest somebody for cheating in a game, right?
It'd be interesting if they had. I don't know.
Maybe if it was like an official game of some sorts, right?
I feel like. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I just continuing in thought train. Like if you fix a boxing match. That's illegal. If you take a dive in a boxing match, that's illegal because it's like maybe because there's money involved and all these other things, and it's a promotion. Promoters have to be like are legally
pro
bound.
leagues. It would be stealing money, kind of.
And it'd probably be the same in a basketball game, like
Yeah.
NBA or any like if you're a sports team and you intentionally lost, that's likely illegal. I would think.
Yeah.
I'm like 98% sure that's illegal. So. Pro sports teams, just getting back to your things, and sorry it took so long to get there, but I wanted to like kind of break it up and go through it in my head. Yeah, bring pro sports teams, pro esports teams, man.
So what about people who are cheating in games to appear better, who are making money off something like Twitch and not necessarily like a competitive pro gamer? Is that would you consider that stealing as well? Like,
well, that would depend on how, because if you could say that's production value, right? You could say, oh, well, Steven Spielberg isn't, or Steven Seagal isn't really, doing all this stuff. That's production value, and that's part of the entertainment, and I'm an entertainment channel, and I'm, et cetera, et cetera. Or if you maybe promoted yourself and made money off the fact that you were sort of genuine with all these types of amazing plays you did, I could see somebody saying, okay, wait a minute. But even then, it really would say at the end of the day, it would come down to whether or not you proposed yourself to be like Mr. Entertainment or not, right? Like if your channel was entertainment, but if you said you were educational, I think you should be liable. You know what I'm saying? Because no one could ever do those things, and like that's not legitimate then. So
like if you basically straight up said that you weren't cheating, you were legit, and then you did that to get views or whatever, then that would be illegal.
I don't know. I think maybe it depends on, I don't think if you were an entertainment channel, that would be true. Because then you're just sort of like, like that could be construed as like, publicity stunt, publicity to say that to get its eyes on, and then you make your own call. That's up to viewers' sort of discretion, right? But if you say you're a documentary, if you say you're education channel, I expect you to be giving me objective information that's true. And if you're saying, if you're like an education channel on how to play video games, and you have 1 million subscribers and you make money off that, but you were cheating in your things, I would say you're 100% liable for that. I think you should be, I don't know if it should be, go to jail, but I think that should be totally illegal.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you think that Twitch monitors like who's hacking stuff? Like say someone's streaming something on Twitch and they're like they're using like some sort of like software.
No,
like
I don't
aimbot.
think so.
You don't think there's no one paying that much attention? Maybe if
I think they got their hands full, no pun intended, with all the chicks with their boobs out and inappropriate stuff that's out there trying to monitor and make reports on people's channels that are I think there's probably a whole set of challenges with just that alone, and I think trying to monitor, like, they're just a hub, right? They're just a streaming service. They're not responsible for content. And it's funny to me because you mentioned to me earlier that they had curbed some of the they have a dress code.
Yeah,
now,
they do.
which is, I'm actually against that, and not for some sort of pig-headed reason where I like care what these chicks are doing, but I think that if people want to watch that, and people watch her for any reason, she has a moderate personality and she's very beautiful and people watch her because of that, that should be allowed, and she should be able to do, short of, I think, anything. I don't want to like act like I know the line between pornographic and not, but if you have, I don't know. Right?
Like, they can't control, like, their body type kind of thing, and like, maybe someone's not necessarily...
If you're showing cleavage, like, I think you should be able to play in a bikini if you want. Do I think you should be able to play with your tits right up? Maybe.
Yeah, well,
maybe.
The thing is, there's, like... I don't know what the terms of service exactly say, but when you log in, like, there's kids watching on Twitch, right? And that's why, like...
But there is the 18, are you over 18 feature, right? Like, there is that. Like, I see that on all the time, right? I have to, like, when I do the co-stream, it says, is your stream 18 plus or not, right?
So if you're saying if it was an 18 plus stream, then you should be able to. But you got to draw the line somewhere.
But do you? I don't know.
Otherwise, there's going to be people, like, banging each other on playing video games.
But you're just attracting the same, like, it's just the people who would be on Pornhub anyways, right? Like, it's not like you're compromising people's morality. Like, oh no, I saw it on Twitch. Like, these people who would be watching it on Twitch would just be watching it there instead of Pornhub. It's not like you're making more people like porn or not, right? So
yeah.
I think that if you watch Twitch for gaming, you're not going to watch those other channels because I don't. Yeah. The only Twitch I watch, man, is just the stuff that's on PUBG or whatever, man, because that's what interests me. I'm not interested in finding some chick who has whatever sort of other attributes. Like, that's just, I'm not interested in that. But some people are, and they should be able to, and she should be able to make money off it. That's so hypocritical, man, because... I mean, we're allowed to put beautiful women in other places on TV and stuff, and nobody bitches, right? We're allowed to listen to these other people who have, like, their opinions on things or their play styles or other entertaining things they do. Why were we going to outlaw people wearing disguises? And, like, at what point... You can't start saying one entertainment's okay than other. And I agree that there's extreme to the pendulums, like, oh, you're going to have people screwing on camera. And, like, I get that could potentially happen. But that I would rather that be a potential outcome than, like, that to me is more acceptable than like, not allowing people to do it as a blanket and, like, taking rights away, you know? Like, I would rather, like, that happen once than, like, you know, screw everybody over. Yeah,
it's the same as YouTube. You can't have, like...
Okay, but that doesn't mean that I agree with YouTube either. In fact, YouTube has been censoring a lot of different things, man. A lot of different opinions, right? And listening to a podcast, I don't know if anybody... Well, almost everybody knows Joe Rogan's podcast, but he was mentioning that he had dinner with some high-ups from YouTube, and he asked why one of the people that he knows, Jordan Peterson, who I have no stake or really know his politics either way, but they was asking why his channel was banned. And the lady who was in control, the higher up, said literally because he's a troublemaker. And that's them taking a political stance on things. And I don't think that these things are totally related, like seeing tits on Twitch and then seeing, you know, all this political stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't know at what point, if you're just a hub for everybody else, you need to shut up. Like, you're a hub for your stream. You're a mechanism for me to talk to you. You don't like what I say? Like, that's like me saying something and, like, for whatever reason we have a translator, and then the translator for whatever reason forbidding to say what I said. Yeah. Because he has a moral issue with it. That you don't get to make that call. The listener gets to decide whether or not he wants to hear it, and I get to say whether or not I can say it. You don't get a say in, like, being some barrier. Well, I don't think Matt should hear this, because I'm taking all these people who say this and I'm not transferring this information off to them because I have... Like, you're making decisions that I don't think you're necessarily wise enough to make for other people. Like, who are you, some sort of, you know, Einstein of socialism or... I meant sociology or something, like, where you just have some divine understanding of how people are and what they truly need, and our entire species shouldn't have this information. Like you see where I'm going. Kind of it's don't YouTube, stop it. If you're out there at YouTube and you by chance hear this podcast, which you should, we're uploading it to your service later. Take note. Censorship isn't the way to go. Freedom of speech. And I'm not trying to freedom of speech.
I didn't want to we don't have to get too deep in this, but even that the YouTube shooting that happened was apparently because the girl was mad at YouTube for censoring her videos. So true.
That I don't believe correlation is causation. I do think that it's I mean, I could imagine anybody who had been that crazy in any way, like if they worked for the post office, and sorry, post office, I know you've been the brunt of many jokes like this over the years, but if you worked at the post office and all of a sudden the post office cut off your job for some other reason, because you were saying things on Facebook that they didn't agree with, or, whatever, and you go in and kill them, it's the same sort of thing.
It could have happened anywhere, depending.
Yeah. And everybody thought YouTube, when that happened, I actually kind of thought it was going to be one of those alt-right guys. Like, I don't know why, but I just feel like it was going to be one of those guys that were going to go in there and shoot up the place because of Muslims or something. I don't know, whatever reason, crazy reasoning. But it turns out it wasn't that at all. It was a woman who was distraught about her YouTube channel getting demonetized or taken. Was it demonetized?
Yeah.
Or taken down completely?
Demonetized. I think that her channel is still there. But she was saying that, like, they were, like, thresholding her views or something. She was like, she used to get all these views, and all of a sudden she wasn't getting any views, and then they took away her, like...
I mean, that's a possibility, too.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm sure YouTube started out and had been for the longest time totally objective and didn't have a stake in things. But once you get so big, I think that, you know, there's a lot of heads in the room, and there's a lot of reason to censor what, you know, what you can. And that's the mantra of, you know, privately owned media, man. And for so long they had a tight grasp on everything you heard and saw. You own the newspapers, you own the news, so you heard the version of events that, you know, that they laid out. And right or wrong or whatever, I'm just saying it was just one view, and it was across networks, so you basically had massive amounts of people hearing all the same story in the same sort of way, because these things, one big person chain owns all these little stations also. So when you have, I don't know, when you have these people control the narrative, man, you know, things just start getting wacky. You know,
Yeah.
you just don't, it's just too much power. And then, you know, once they lost that with the internet, they've just been desperately trying to get it back. And since YouTube got so big, now they can control them. Because before it was like an elephant trying to crush a small little YouTube ant. And now YouTube's got big. They got money, they got investors, you know, now they have executives now, you know, and now they can get a hold of these guys. Oh, now you got something to lose. Now we can make you, you know, in line.
Mm-hmm.
To stay in line, right? And that's I think the thinking of the side that approaches them. I don't think, you know, this is some sort of malicious whatever. I'm just looking at sort of the advantages of, if you wanted to control the story and you wanted to say, hey, like if Trump said, I don't want any more, I don't know, even Trump. If he says, I don't want any more, you know, stories about me and Russia collusion on YouTube, and YouTube complies, and they haven't gone that far yet.
Yeah.
But they could. They've already sort of gone far in their own personal views. Mm-hmm. At what point does someone like Ajit Pai, the guy, the FCC director who ripped out the net neutrality in the States, if you get someone like that in there, who's totally in there just to be the guy that takes over and, you know, opens it up for that,
yeah,
you know, to come in, it just gets weird, man. I don't know. You just can't trust it when it gets big things, and so I don't know. Twitch might be. Is Twitch owned by? Who is Twitch owned by? Are they independent? Or are they part of this sort of thing? Are they bought by like Google or like, I don't know?
Oh man.
I'm gonna type in who owns Twitch right now.
Look it up right now because
Ghost, pull that up. Say Ghost, pull that up.
Ghost, pull that up.
Yeah. Who owns? Justin, what? The founder and video game streaming site Twitch, Justin Can, explained on stage Monday at TechCrunch Disrupt London exactly how the site grew, acquired it by Amazon for $970 million. So Amazon, so Jeff Bezos owns Twitch.
Wow. I wasn't expecting that. Amazon.
That guy sold that for $970 million. Good for him, man. The founder of Twitch sold it for $970 million.
It's a lot of money.
So whoever runs whoever runs Amazon stuff is going to be in similar boat as the YouTube people, right? Mm-hmm. Trying to, like, I don't know. But thankfully YouTube's just doing it for their own personal bullshit right now, as far as we know.
Yeah, like,
you know what I mean?
There could be so many things happening that we just haven't heard of because they're like it's so easy to hide that away, right? If they're closing down people's.
I'd rather have the I'm sorry, man. I was kind of still thinking of my next thing there. I'd rather have their, like, stupid little personal biases affecting things than, like, big corporate interests
stuff,
affecting it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't want any of it, but if I had to choose between these people just, like, you know, hating some stupid view and being censored is shit. Yeah, but it's better than, like, having everything we ever on there totally censored, or, you know, like China is one thing I will openly critique about their system. There was their new social credit, which is right out of Black Mirror.
Yeah. Has that been in effect yet?
Yes, it is.
Oh,
It
man.
is in effect, man. It is live in effect over there, and it's getting a little nutso.
Well, we can use that to go into critique Belgium, because there's some news out of there.
Oh, here we go. Take that, Belgium. Take that, China. Ripping through all the countries today.
So Belgium just made it illegal for loot boxes to be in some games like Overwatch and Rainbow Six? No. Yes?
No, I think it was Counter-Strike.
Counter-Strike. Yeah. Counter-Strike and Overwatch have like loot box system similar to many other games, and it's
But why are we hating on Belgium? I thought this was a good thing.
that they made loot boxes illegal.
Yeah, but the gambling ones.
So it's not gambling. It's not gambling with real money. It's the exact same system as in the games in North America. So basically, their gambling is basically just like at the end of the thing, your points get you like a chance to get like a skin or something. There's no real money involved. That's why it's kind of whack. It's not actually gambling in my opinion. They think like the rush of like, oh, I might get the skin for Tracer is the same thing that's gonna get kids hooked on gambling. I know, like if it's not like
I think that's a total personality thing, man. I don't think that's something that's gonna be like influenced when you're 7 or 8 years old. I think you're like that from a younger age. Maybe you don't. I don't know.
I think it's the same argument of saying like video games make you violent. Video games gonna make you a gambling addict. Like I think that's.
I don't know, man. I could see like if you. I understand what I understand the rush of gambling in the sense like when you win a little bit of money. I understand the putting it back in. Like I understand that, and I could see, but I don't know if a kid, like unless you're wagering your own stuff. Are you wagering your stuff in some way, or is it just like random loot boxes?
It's just random.
Trade them
it's just
for stuff.
No, there's random loot boxes, and there's no way to like make actually
So what is
money
gambling
off of it.
about it? Like
They're
what?
saying that it's the fact that there's like a chance of winning at the end of the game, chance of winning like a skin for your gun or like a skin for your character is like gambling. That's what they like ruled. So, and they're
Wow, that's a reach.
yeah, and they're threatening Blizzard and Counter-Strike. They're to like sue them for millions of dollars if they don't comply. Or like fine them with millions of dollars if they don't comply. So they basically are going to have to drastically change the game and re-release it in Belgium, or just take the game right out of Belgium.
I think this is irrespective, obviously, of I hope I use that word right, of how the gamers feel, and but like taking them out of it, I hope they remove their games from Belgium and the gamers speak up and be like, yo, what are you talking about? And make them accountable for it. Because this is like a committee of idiots that don't play video games.
Exactly.
And they're the same people that say, oh, violent video games, prove this and prove that. And all the research actually counters that, It's contrary to, it's actually violent crime is down and all these other things, right? And it's actually, it's competitive. It's not, I don't know. And it's hypocritical because all the shows, all the cop shows, all the murder shows, all the movies, man, it's just glorified death. And then all of a sudden with video games, because I'm pressing a button and like it's, oh no, now we're training them. Like, yeah, because my button skills are going to turn into like karate chops and like, Killer Instinct, whatever type moves. But I don't know. Yeah, so that's silly. I don't like it.
Yeah, so... Boo Belgium Gaming Commission.
Oh, you've been booed by Snooty. And now I don't know how you feel about yourself. So, I'm sorry. I was going to say there's a suicide hotline, but I thought that's probably too far. I don't want to make suicide jokes. I'm going to go the road of PewDiePie. Right? PewDiePie. He did that sort of like through the suicide forest.
No, that wasn't PewDiePie.
Oh, wait, that was...
the other guy.
What's his name?
Oh, man. Now I don't remember.
Brainwashed him. But yeah, it wasn't.
It was that other guy. It wasn't PewDiePie.
But he has that stupid hat on all the time, right?
He wasn't a gaming YouTuber, was he? I thought he was just like a...
Oh, true, yeah. I think
walk around and film himself, kind of.
Yeah, I'm not much into those YouTube guys in that respect. Those guys, right? I watch other like YouTube channels, but I'm not really in. So I didn't even really know. I knew PewDiePie was a gamer, but I thought that other guy was a gamer too, but he might just do videos, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I'm sure everyone knows who we're talking about, because that was, like, all over the interwebs a couple months back.
Yeah, he got a lot of crap for that. I can't believe we don't remember his name. So, yeah, I was looking at do you want to go into the next segment?
Let's do it!
This is the Snooty Ghost Top 5.
bad about it. Should I still say it?
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, maybe I don't feel bad. Yeah, I'm doubling down. So if you play one of these 5 games, you're probably a virgin. Nothing against being a virgin, by the way. This is not a negative connotation, although it does sound like one. I would just say that these games will really take your youth away.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait.
That's a good way.
Keep your youth?
No, but take your youth away because you just get old playing them and not out there chasing what you should be doing.
Number 5.
Not The Sims, but the Hot Date expansion pack, where your Sims go on hot dates with each other.
Number 4.
Final Fantasy.
Number 3.
A place where you can literally spend thousands of dollars on nothing. The game Eve Online.
Like real money.
Yeah, real money. It's
Yeah.
literally, that's what I mean. Like some of these ships cost $4,000 US dollars for one of these ships.
Number 2.
World of Warcraft. The time it takes to get your characters up is definitely means you have 0 time for girls. And here we go.
Number 1.
Okay, this one here is number 1 by far. I think there's a clear, a real big gap. Not a big gap between the 2nd and 3rd and 4th and 5th, but the gap between this game and the rest of them is by far the biggest. And that title goes to, you are definitely, very likely, very high probability a virgin if you play Second Life to any extent. And I'm sorry if that's you and that describes you out there. It doesn't mean that it won't happen for you. I say stay positive out there, put the game down, and go build relationships outside the game. I can't really imagine anybody who wasn't successful in their first life even having any success in this whole Second Life thing. It seems ridiculous. I've seen some conversations. I've seen the people, how into it they are, and I have to say, it doesn't look healthy.
No, I agree.
Do you have any? Go ahead and you want to defend me? Defend any of these guys? Any of these people here, man? Do you want to just? Am I being a little too harsh
Maybe
here?
there's that one guy in Second Life who's trading real estate and making.
What about WoW?
bank off it.
WoW was number 2. WoW was number 2. What do you think? WoW was?
No, they're all a bunch of virgins.
Are they a bunch of virgins? Oh man! All right.
If you play one of these 5 games, you are probably a meathead.
Likely, very likely a meathead. Okay,
Yeah.
Go ahead, go through the list there. What's is this number top 5, right? So what's number 5?
Top 5.
Number 5.
Halo. If you play Halo, you are probably a meathead because that's where teabagging was invented. And I can't think of a more meathead thing to do in a video game than to teabag a corpse. I don't know. That just...
Yeah, it's actually yeah. I found out a lot of what my mother's been up to on that game over the years. The Halo community seems to have quite a good time with my mom, and my mom, I guess, likes them young. Apparently, yes. I guess my mom is into 15-year-olds very, very far. I mean, she travels a lot. Apparently, I don't know.
Number 4.
NHL. Pretty much any NHL game will say...
Oh, what about Gravedigger Billy? He's the one we had him on our other podcast. He plays NHL. He's not a meathead.
I said
Oh.
you're probably a meathead.
Oh, man. Hey,
But
shout out to Gravedigger Billy.
I'd say most of the time it's just a bunch of hockey jocks between ice time.
Hockey jocks between ice time. Ooh, that's a good line right there.
Number 3.
Madden, NFL football.
Bunch of meatheads playing your NHL,
It's probably the only
playing
game.
your Halo.
Only game.
Number 2.
UFC. This game I think is pretty stereotypical.
Pretty
for
stereotypical,
meatheads.
pretty obvious.
Pretty
Yeah.
obvious for meatheads.
Yeah.
You can't fight MMA in real life, so you're gonna create a character and punch some girls in the face.
Whoa. Yeah, so I guess, punch people in the face, UFC, meathead, enough said. I actually like that game.
Maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit.
Voice get all high there.
Number 1.
Yeah, that's right. Number 1 is Call of Duty. And I think it's pretty obvious that's the epitome of
Meathead
the
City right
no
there.
skill shooter.
Ooh, where's my protein shake? Shaking my Call of Duty. I said protein shake. That sounds scary.
That is scary. Shake you some
Where's my protein shake and my Call of Duty?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You pretty much just run around while probably doing some sit-ups while playing that game. You don't have to pay too much attention. That's what I just picture meatheads doing. I don't know.
Epitome of a no-skill shooter. All aggro and no tactics.
Exactly. So that was it, the first segment.
Yeah, that went pretty well.
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
think so.
I think so.
Let us know what you guys think.
Yeah, let us know.
Well, more top fives
let
for
us
you.
know. Yeah, let us know. Maybe I don't give a shit what you think. How about that? I don't care what any of you guys think about our segments.
If you hated it that much, you're probably a virgin or a meathead.
Yeah. If you're mad at us for it, go ahead and send me. Or actually, no. If you're mad at us for it, go ahead and send Snooty an email.
Chewy17.
Chewy something. I'll find it out. I'll release it in the comments because I'm the one who puts it up. So, no, I won't do that. But yeah, that's. I had a lot of fun this is a pretty good first episode, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's nice to, we're not changing up the pace, but we're just,
No, it's the same. It's the same as the IGU episodes here, but this is going to be a little bit, I just feel more, I feel IGU is something we set out to be, advancing sort of a political side of IGU, right? With gaming news and stuff like that. And I always felt pressured to not be as,
we can be a little more relaxed on this one.
Yeah, I don't feel as pressured to get things out and sort of maintain the balance between, I don't care if this one is stupid at all, right? But I feel like the IGU's got to have a little bit more credibility. My stupid ass trying to make dumb jokes all the time. Here, I'll make all the stupid jokes I want, and I'm sorry if that's, a problem, but you have to put up with it.
Yeah.
What?
I said yeah.
Oh, I thought you said no.
Yeah.
Oh, true. All right, I guess that's it.
Yeah.
All right, so,
good.
yeah, man, so we're going to be... oh, man, do I dare say we're going to be doing this every week? We said that before. Is this going to be every week?
Yes.
Yes.
And the IGU one...
Once a month. Yeah, so on the first of every month, we're going to have an IGU podcast. Which, shit, I guess that would be tomorrow. You want to switch it up to, the 15th?
Sure. We're going to release this one tomorrow, so...
Yeah, so this one's going to be... The Snooty Ghost podcast will be every week, and then IGU is going to be once a month. So we'll I don't know, we'll be in touch then. We'll figure out whenever you see the next IGU podcast, just count down about a month from there, and you'll know when the next one is then.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Snooty Ghost podcast. Thanks for tuning in, folks. Really appreciate it. All the support's great. All the messages and that we never get, but we should probably hope get them sometime maybe.
Yeah. Check us out on Facebook and Twitter. And
support us on Patreon.
YouTube.
Give us donations. We want all your money, just like all the other YouTubers and podcast people. Just kidding. We don't want your money. We do this for fun.
Yep, for now.
Yeah, for now. All right, guys. Peace.
Later.
The Snooty Ghost podcast brought to you by the International Gamers Union.
You've reached a checkpoint.